Matter of fact. So
What's
we
up?
green
We
light.
green, baby. Or actually, we red because red it says
Red.
live. It's right now. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. I mean, quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set. What's up, everybody? Man, we back. We back. We back. Man, how you doing, bro?
Yeah. I'm good, man. I feel real good. Feel real good. Doing real good. Just creators creating. Well, how about you,
Yeah,
brother?
man. Same, man. Staying working, working, staying busy, staying
You do
busy. If
not.
anyone,
I'm gonna just say this. You do not look like you're working. You look like you are in Hawaii on with the Mai Tai and the Kona Lakas or the Kona
close.
the
I got
Kona
a
String.
Bucky's. I got a Bucky's mug. It's on some Texas stuff right there, man. Um,
Hey,
Anybody watching from Texas, y'all know what's up.
what's up? Isn't that the
Now you
gas
was
station
asking.
that got food?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep. I had to represent, man. Just had to stun on them Texas style.
nice, nice.
Nah, man. But to explain the shirt, because he was asking me about the shirt. So,
Yeah,
I do work for a Native Hawaiian organization owned company. It's an 8A designation for people who want to get into government contracting. Uh, uh, the quick and dirty version of the program. It's a small business association program that basically helps companies that are owned by people from underserved communities. It helps give them a hand up, not a hand out, to get government contracts. So
right.
we have a luau tonight in honor of Asian Heritage Month. Um, I'm part of the San Antonio IT networking group. So we're getting together tonight at the the Quarry Golf Club. So if you're in San Antonio and you're in the tech community, come through, check us out, man. We got the whole luau, we got the fire dancers, everything, man. Come out,
Yeah,
come chill with the
and
local IT
and
ecosystem.
since it's named after me, you can't get in free. Oh God. I was like, wait a minute, the Corey Golf Club. I said, wait a minute, I ain't nobody paid me. So you can't get in free.
And I'm pronouncing it wrong. I got a little bit of hood slang. It's quarry with a Q. It's
Oh,
just my
oh,
accent with these braces is sounding like quarry.
got you. It's all good. It's all good. They still can't get in for free.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, we actually got an open bar to a certain point, so it'll be free for a minute
Right. Hey, can't go wrong with
until
the
the
open
tickets
bar.
run out, man. Old fashions, we be drinking. The IT ecosystem, we be drinking.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Speaking of open bar, Open AI is having some competition. So the piggyback on that, you know what I'm saying? It looks like a lot of changes are really happening big time. When it like Nvidia seems like they're making some turns for the worse. Meta has Lambda 3 coming out. Like you were telling me earlier, like it's pretty much generative AI. Remember we talked about that? It's pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah, yeah. So the one I was talking about was Claude 3. Claude 3. Forget the name of the company, but it's another player in the LLM AI game. Claude 3 and the headlines are talking about that. It's showing sentient qualities, i.e., it's human-like, it's self-aware. That's what they're saying, man. Every time they make a major update with these AI models, they're trying to say, oh, it's more human-like. I'm like, I'm over it already.
right.
And that's the name of the game, man. All these competitors in the AI space, Meta, Apple recently made their first move, Nvidia, who else? Oh,
Microsoft.
OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, right? The name of the game is they're all trying to see who can create the most human-like AI system first. That's the game, which I think out of all of them, OpenAI is still in the lead, right? Because
Of
they're the
course.
ones that made that first mate that check move, right? They put
Right.
everyone else in check, and it forced everyone to scramble. So that's the game, man. That's where we are with that.
Right. And I'm looking at um these looking at how everybody is coming up with something similar. And I know AI is incorporated. And when I say something similar, like Microsoft has Copilot, OpenAI has ChatGPT for
Hmm.
ChatGPT Turbo. Is and I'm just curious to know. It's like, can anybody just do this? And if they can just do this, do they have to be a um, does it have to be on a level of how they are, right? So Microsoft, it looks like Microsoft Copilot took what Midjourney was doing and what ChatGPT was doing and fused it all into one. And if so, there's got to be some type of laws that can prevent them, like from pretty much taking somebody's idea and making money off of it, right?
You're saying do it, you talking about stand up a learning language model or
Um,
stand AI platform?
yeah,
I guess in theory anybody could do it, but realistically, it depends because it takes a lot of compute power, which is why, for example, in the case of OpenAI, right? OpenAI, they already had their initial investment from Tesla. I'm having a brain fart, man. Who's the guy that started Tesla? I can't even think
Elon
of
Musk.
Elon Musk, right?
Elon Musk.
He helped OpenAI get started, right? So they had their data centers and supercomputers, and then Microsoft came in and dropped bans. They dropped bans on them. What was that? That what was that? A $10 billion investment they made in OpenAI way back
Yeah,
when? 2 years ago, right?
right,
So basically, when Microsoft did that, they gave OpenAI access to Microsoft's compute power, right? And Microsoft, they got data centers all over the world. So
right.
it takes that computing power. Perfect example. Here's a case study, right? Um, did you see the last Avatar movie, Avatar Part 2?
Nope, it was too long. 10
Well, but
years,
you
10
know
years
about
ago when the first one came out, I had the patience. I don't have patience to sit in the movie theater unless it grabs me from the jump.
it. I feel you.
I got bored watching the trailer. So I
It
know
was a
that
slow burner. It was a slow burner, man. It was a slow burner. But I'll
but
bring that up because just to show how important computing power is. That's a Disney movie, right? Because Disney owns that IP, and we've been talking about intellectual
intellectual
properties and
property.
stuff like that, right? We about
Yeah.
to connect them dots. Here's the power of IP. So Disney owns that IP. They started that movie, but they couldn't finish it because they didn't have the computing power. They ended up going to AWS, and they had to use AWS's cloud network to get the computing power they needed to finish editing that movie.
Oh wow.
Um, just to show you how important having that compute power is for AI. So it's like, yeah, in theory, anyone could do it if they know how to stand up a language learning model system or machine learning model system. But then you got that compute power, cuz that's really what it comes down to. You got to have
Right.
access to that, and that's big money. So you got to think Disney can afford to pay Amazon Web Services to get access to their compute power network, right? That's big money.
It's real big money.
We talking
Yeah.
big money.
And it's crazy to me. The reason why I say that is because every good version has a bootleg. Right? Every good version got a bootleg.
Hey, I
Think
feel
about
you
it.
on that.
Think about it. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes the bootleg get passed around a lot more than the actual version.
True,
Think
true,
about,
true.
you know what I'm saying? So I was thinking like, um, if somebody was to create a bootleg Open AI or bootleg Microsoft Copilot or a bootleg Midjourney, the stability, because every with bootlegs you lose quality, right?
Of
And
course.
you also in this case you probably would lose security, right? Because of the
Oh,
fact that
definitely.
somebody if somebody was to say, okay, let me go ahead and create this quick fix Open AI mimic, right? And then I put it on my computer, and then I start having it telling everybody, hey, you want to faster this and faster that, but it doesn't have X Y Z that this has. Go ahead and still try it, and people will jump on it because it may be convenient, right? It may be
Mhm.
simple, but it won't be as secure as the other companies.
Nah, good point. I mean, it's you take me back, man. First time I saw Boys in the Hood was on the bootleg. So
Uh,
and back in them days, the bootlegs had the numbers at the
had the
bottom.
numbers at
Remember
the
that?
bottom, right? Yeah,
So
definitely.
fast forward to now, we'll have our version of the numbers in the bottom, right? I.e.,
Right.
like I know in some websites, right? Like in video, for example, right? I know when I'm exporting a video, it'll let me know, hey, you're number one, two, or three in the queue, right? Because I
Right.
got to wait for other people that are using those resources on that server. Their job has to get processed. Then my job can get processed, so I can export the video for the Von Go Tech Bites channel. By the way, go check that out for the latest and
Yeah.
greatest in tech related news. Um,
Yeah.
but for example, right, if you got a bootleg AI service that you're providing, it really comes down to how all those customers being served, because those customers are going to need those resources to generate whatever they're generating, even if it's just a chat, right? What
Right.
what type of resources are being used for? I don't know. Let's say you got a student that's trying to like use AI to write a paper or something like that, right?
Right.
How reliable will it be? Not a like being able to actually do it, right? Are they in a queue? Do they have a system set up? Do they have enough power to actually provide said services to the customers that's trying to use it? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if it's
Yeah.
bootleg, probably not. You might be waiting 30 minutes to an hour for that job to process when you know how we are, man. As
Yeah.
consumers, we want that thing right now. What you mean
Well,
it's taking over 10 seconds to
right.
process my request?
Right. And see, the thing about it is because sometimes when a person creates something and a big major get finds out, a big major either make their own version or they buy it, right?
Yeah,
For instance,
yeah.
Instagram and Facebook. That's Facebook. Instagram got bought for $1 billion from Facebook.
Big
If
money.
a bootleg service, let me stop calling it bootleg. That's not professional. Low grade, independent service is created, right? And it's missing some. It's
It's
I'm
laughing
trying
because I lived in the Bay Area and they would say Bootsy, the Bootsy version.
the Bootsy version, right? Not, and we're not talking about the rapper Bootsy.
You now that's Boozy, not Bootsy.
Right. That's why I made it clear because I don't want the smoke.
Hey, I don't want no smoke from little Bootsy,
Yeah.
man. Nah, we good. We good.
But I'm just saying, like, they end up finding the good
Hmm.
diamonds in the rough. They go ahead and pay it out. Imagine a generation of individuals creating their own chat, their own chat bots, but everything is different. Not chat bots, but chat GPTs. But everything they have their own unique thing, their own creative fingerprint.
Yeah. Oh,
It
that's definitely happening.
Yeah, it could definitely one change the landscape of AI. Number two, small businesses will be able to benefit from it from the internal part, not uh just the regular part how AI consumes data and then pushes out the results. If you're able to create an open AI platform specifically for your organization, um, and then grow that organization, that would be something very interesting. You see why? Because you're looking at now that if a company want to go ahead and purchase this company, say for instance, I build my company and it has these AI tools that I coded and developed inside of it. Now my business is more profitable where somebody can say, you know what? Instead of buying their model, let's buy them.
I see what you're saying. I see what you. If you're looking at it from like an entrepreneurial perspective, I it just I always say it depends a lot, right? It really depends on that company. Um, like if you are up and coming company, I don't know how feasible it is to, let's say you found some kids that created a model, purchasing that, because again, you don't know how reliable it is, and when you're building a company, you want that company to scale. you got to try to find the most reliable resources at the most discounted price possible, right? That good balance. Yeah, I need a discount, but I also need it to work, right? To where maybe if you're a more mature company, you might want to go buy your own, you know, AI resource if that's the case, or it might even be more economical to just go subscribe to Copilot or Google's. It used to be Bart. What's Google calling it now? I forget what Google's calls their model now. Um,
Gemini. It's Gemini.
Gemini. There you go. There you go. It might be more economical to just do it as a subscription service. It just depends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which one is going to give you the biggest return on investment? It always the universal business principles apply. You know what I mean? To where
Yes.
yes, now if you're talking about maybe a group of folks, let's say today's Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, right? Maybe you got a couple of kids that are creating their own AI model, um, and they take the independent hustle approach, right? Maybe they go out and they start selling it from their version of the trunk of their car, and they get their own customers and they serve their own niche, and they build it that way. I can see that probably being more feasible. You know what I mean? To where maybe I don't know. Let's say like gaming, right? Let's say you got a group of gamers who create some
Right.
type of AI model specifically for their gaming niche, right? And they
Right.
build that up, and maybe they do crowdfunding, and that's how what they use to get the compute power that they need, and that thing just grows and grows and grows over a span of time, right? I
Right.
I I I see that probably being like the next new thing. I remember when you and I had a conversation a couple of years ago, man, when I was first getting into content. You said something to me. You was like, dude, this content thing is the new hip hop. And I understood how important it was for me to get involved with content when you told me that, right? I think now this whole AI thing is the new content
Yes.
model. You know what I'm saying? It's the new hustle. Like if you can find where you fit in this whole thing and just cater to that market, I think that's how you come up. Versus if you're an entrepreneur running a food truck or something, or a couple of food trucks, you may not want to spend your resources on a model that hasn't been proven yet. It might be more economical, get a better return on your investment to subscribe to something that's been proven. You get what I'm saying? There's a couple of different avenues you could go. It just depends on where you are in that spectrum.
Got you. And speaking of spectrum, I want to touch bases on something that we were talking about on our tech bites, net neutrality, and what does it mean for us, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
The switch gears, but also the what I'm saying, the touch on what's important out there. I remember when I worked in wireless, net
mm,
neutrality was one of those things where like, okay, well, you would get throttled depending on the size of your capacity where you are, or if you hit 100 gigs of data, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
and but then there was data prioritized. Um, if you're in an area where you probably use probably 2 gigs of your 50 or 100 gigs of data, and you're in the Staples Center, or my bad, the crypto center, and everybody in there uses like 50 or 60 gigs of data.
yeah,
The person who used 50 or 60 gigs of data wouldn't be able to use their services as well as the person who used very minimal. So with data prioritization and net neutrality, I feel like there's some form of inconvenience that people are going to start paying for, not paying for as far as like the paid, but like it's going to be an inconvenience that you're going to have to struggle through because of the fact that your data pricing may have to increase. Because this is right here just telling us
ah,
this right here is just explaining to us like, okay, that's the new minutes pretty much. Remember there was a time where and
yeah.
those
Hey man,
people,
I'm going on my minutes. Hey, send me a
yeah,
text.
you know what I'm saying, or call me after 9 o'clock,
I'm
right?
after you.
You know what I'm saying, and
That used to influence the way I used to mac on the chick. You know, when I'm back in my player days, like, hey girl, I'm gonna have to call you back after 9 o'clock.
right. But so here's the problem with that. everybody life is different now, and these phones is in everybody hands.
Oh
They
yeah.
can't Companies can't say, okay, we're gonna charge you for a bucket of gigs or we're gonna throttle you anymore, because of the fact that if you do that, um, you're pretty much gonna it, people gonna choose quantity over quality at that point.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's because
Hmm.
of the fact that if I gotta pay an extra $50 to be able to have my day run normal because of the fact that there are laws passed. But this company over here, say for instance, a Metro or a Boost or a Mint Mobile, could provide me still the same amount of data, but with the crappier experience. At least I have access to the data, because you got to think about it. Um, it costs data buckets cost these corporations, and even Spectrum, even though they say, oh, we'll never go up on your data. Yeah, but you can also go down on the quality.
Touche,
You
touche.
see what I'm saying?
Um, Damn, I would say something about Spectrum, but I actually need some help from them, so I ain't gonna say it. Um,
No, oh well, let's not say Spectrum. Let's use another company, Charter, right? Which is owned by Spectrum, but
ah,
Charter owns
ah,
Spectrum. Okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's say said company A. They need those circumstances um, to be fulfilled. It's gonna probably be, and then there's hijacking data. Like somebody hijacked that IP, right?
Hmm.
And then they're starting to use that IP's data. Then somebody, you know what I'm saying, uh, with the cybersecurity, which is your industry, they realize that this person is probably only normally use 10 gigs a month, but their phone or their IP address been hacked, and now they're using 40 gigs on somebody else's phone. That caused inconvenience, and it also is a breach of cybersecurity in itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a different. I didn't even think about that aspect of the net neutrality. Um, yeah, that's different. That's different. I forget you bring that perspective from back in your mobile days, right? Um,
Right,
Dang, yeah, I never looked at it from that perspective, but that goes back to a concept we talking about. You know, that data is the new drug, right? That addictive data, right?
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's one thing to be concerned about, but I think it just depends on what kind of lifestyle you have, right? So like me and you, right? We both need reliable data, so
right,
I would pay extra to make it reliable if I need to, right? But I think most people, the one thing about net neutrality, that I think the thing that most people will be care about is the fact that it removes the ability for providers to control where you go on the internet, not so much the device you're using, but where you go. I think it gives the everyday internet user more flexibility and freedom. Um, and I think it takes away the ability for, let's say, if I have a website, maybe I can pay Spectrum. Hey man, anytime someone is looking for this type of service or product, make sure they get routed to me, right? I
right,
think that was one of the biggest things that the government was like, that's not fair internet practices, right? Which is why they brought back net neutrality. Um, like, nah, you don't, you already getting paid. Like, I see it from that perspective, to where me as a Spectrum user, I'm already paying Spectrum to get access to the internet, right? But then
right.
if you got someone, a website paying you that anytime I log on to use the internet to say, I don't know, I'm shopping for diapers, you're automatically throttling my data from these other diaper providers, but you're making me go to Huggies. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that's the part of net neutrality that most people will care about. Like, it takes away that ability, and if a provider gets caught doing that, they getting fined, baby. They getting
right,
fined.
yeah. But sometimes you gotta test the waters to see is you gonna get wet. You feel me? If that makes sense.
True. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be like Mike Tan and dance underwater and not get wet.
Right. Right.
Now, but you're right. I mean, they're gonna test it, dude. I mean,
Yes.
and so they're gonna test. The providers will test it. You gotta test the waters, right? And I think that's where the cybersecurity part of it comes in at because Big Brother's watching, man. Let's keep it real.
Always.
Let's just keep it real. CISA, the cybersecurity and infrastructure security agency, they monitoring that bad boy. Let's be real about it. And if any type of trigger gets set off and they catch a provider doing some shady stuff, they're gonna let the FCC know, and someone's pants or the SEC, whoever's jurisdiction it will fall under, depending on the type of traffic, right? They're gonna get
Right.
fined. They're gonna get fined.
Right.
But they're gonna test it. I mean, I keeping it real, I would. I'll try. What can I get away with?
Yeah.
It's just natural.
I'm gonna push the line till it push back.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
But also, I do want to talk about the healthcare cybersecurity effects that's been happening, and we talk about this. We talked about this. Well, we posted about this on our channel, on our Tech Bites channel.
Yep.
Um,
Valuable Tech Bites. Make sure to go like and subscribe for the most latest and greatest tech related news.
Definitely, because this actually goes into HIPAA, right? Like
Yeah. Yup.
this, you know what I'm saying? This could, and with the way that technology is moving, it seems like people are looking to take advantage of where they can, right? And
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about bad apples with the capability to have a knowledge of healthcare information, right? So, say for instance, somebody try to ransom my information, and my first thing is going to be like, where'd you get my information from? And then instead, because what I hate, and everybody know, I hate class action lawsuits, but I do participate because I hate them, but I participate. And here's the reason why: it's because of the fact that class action lawsuits is you wait till 100 or 100,000 people get affected, and then you want to do something. My thing is if, and then you get lowballed when you get it. But the people who have the right amount of money, they can say, "Oh, I'm getting summons for not summons. I'm getting notified for a class action lawsuit. Let me get my lawyer involved, and instead of joining this class action, I'm gonna join my own. I'm gonna have my own
Yeah.
lawyer and just go ahead and sue." With that, it's like, well, is it a win for you, or is it a win for your lawyer? And then, how well is the
Well, I
information?
see what
Is,
you're saying.
you see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, people don't think about this. I mean, they get look, class action lawsuits pop in. They like free money. Let's go.
Money, baby. Free money.
Whether it's a bill or a billion, I'm getting it right. However, nobody
Hey,
tends
these
to
bills
want.
don't pay themselves, fool.
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you say?
I mean, the thing about it is like nobody ever look at it. Well, they already in courts and they're going to settle. Why not hire a lawyer to get a better share of what they're settling?
Yeah, and I spoke on that. I forgot there was one breach, the T-Mobile one. Actually, I
Wait a
got
minute,
my
wait a minute.
notification mail.
How many? Which one? Was it the first one? Was it the second one? Was
It
it
was
the
one of
third?
them, man.
Because
It
they've
was
been
one
breached.
of them. They get breached. I mean, any carrier, they got their targets. Hospital systems, their targets, man.
Yeah,
But I mean, me personally, I just ain't got the time for it, man. Like for me, all money ain't good money because
right.
you and I, we're entrepreneurs, we're hustlers, right? I'm always on the grind, man.
Yeah,
In order for me to try to get my my piece of that pie, that's gonna take time away from something else I'm doing that's generating money. I can't do that for me personally, right?
exactly. No, no,
But
totally
and
get it.
even in my reaction video to that, I was saying, hey, do you boo boo? Like if maybe you're in a different phase to where you got the time to go chase that down. I don't. So I just think it. So I don't know. I don't know if that answer is cut and dry, black and white. Oh yeah, can you get a better deal? either way I go, it's not a good deal for me because I don't got the time to go talk to no lawyer, because that's taking money. You know, it
Yeah,
takes money to talk to. They at the end of the day, the lawyers win because they
they
getting
go.
their
Yeah,
money guaranteed.
they get paid either way. They're gonna get
They
paid
get
through
paid
class
either way.
action or they're getting paid through you, but they gonna get paid.
They gonna get paid. So at the end of the day, the only people that win are the lawyers. And
Yeah,
again, I'm not one to knock they hustle. So
nah.
maybe I
You know
should have went to law school.
I think I would have been vicious in law school, but I also think that I don't have I don't have because somebody's gonna tell me that they actually killed somebody. I'm not gonna
Oh
want to
dang.
defend you. I'm gonna be my moral
Nah.
compass will kick in. Like, okay, so I gotta help you get off, and if I don't help you get off, you get a lighter sentence than normal based off of me. You may want to come back and come grab me.
Yeah.
You feel
Yep.
me?
Yep. But no, back to what you were asking as far as the hospitals, and like why they're targets and the implications of it. There's no light way of putting it, right? I always compare internet and technology to just war, right? If you understand, and I can't help it, call me biased, I'm guilty. When I learned about IT and the internet, one of the things that I learned was it was the military that created the internet, right? Because they needed to communicate with different bases in the Hawaiian Islands, and then the government made it available to the public, right? So the origins of the internet was tied to war, right?
Right.
Fast forward, um, now the new ammunition and the gold, everything in war is data. So I want your data. No, just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I want your data to win my war. I want your data to put money in my pockets, in my bank account. What type of data is stored in hospital systems?
Right.
You got payment information, billing information, addresses, social security numbers. The HIPAA information is more so like based on your conditions, which the scenario you gave, maybe I could use someone's condition in some type of trying to get a payout, right? Trying to hold something for ransom, like, hey man, I know you got this condition. If you don't want me letting the world know, I'm gonna need you to pay this ransom. Like just a quick, like that's what's at stake, right? But even a step further, right? When you consider the Internet of Things, right? The IoT,
IoT.
right?
Yeah.
That's something to think about, right? You might have a family member that has a heart monitor, right? That heart monitor is being monitored, is internet based, right? Someone somewhere in our hospital is monitoring a group of people with heart monitors. Um, let's say if you have an adversary, they trying to get at you, maybe I can hack that heart monitor system and turn it off.
Yeah.
Like that's something I've always thought about stuff like that because I was always responsible for those type of systems. Like that's one of the extreme cases, right?
Right.
That's what makes what's going on with these hospitals being targeted so dangerous, in my opinion. Like, never mind the money, we could replace the money. Never mind the data, we could replace the data, but you can't replace no life, man. And
Nah.
if somebody breathing machine, heart monitoring machine, any type of other medical monitoring machine gets hacked and those hackers turn it off, that's a problem, man. That's a
So
problem, and that's where. Go ahead.
so that would be considered like a digital black ops. Like if
Yeah. Yep. No, we call it something else, but no, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, somebody knows that adversary from a different country who's causing a lot of chaos has anything, you know what I'm saying, has electronic monitoring because of their condition.
Yep.
They can easily hire a digital black ops team. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that 'cause I don't know what the real term is, and if this comes out, y'all better cut me a check. Call of Duty. I know y'all will because let me
Digital
tell you,
black ops. Hey, we're using that. There's an actual official term in the DoD, but I don't want to
no,
throw
no,
it
no,
out there.
yeah, yeah,
People
don't,
watching.
yeah,
No, but I like that digital black ops. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, it makes
yeah,
that's the world we live in right now, man. And we have some of our content that does reiterate time and time again that the new battleground is cyberspace. Like Yeah, I
Right.
mean, we got people boots on ground in the Ukraine defending. I mean, we don't, but there are people on the ground fighting physical wars in the physical battleground. But that doesn't happen as often as it used to. At do this, what's going on right now? Um, there's wars going on right now in cyberspace.
Right. And with that being said, it's like that's why I said there's there's other ways wars, not wars, but this, what is that? You hear that? That's
Hold
your
on one
alarm?
second. I gotta reconnect.
Okay.
Let me get my reconnection going.
No problem. Well, you're still live, so but as you do that, you can probably answer this. So it seems like nowadays, not nowadays, but with a lot of things, it's something else. It's a new boogeyman in town, right? It's a way for people to be able to say, okay, well, instead of hitting them this way, I can hit them this way. Instead of hitting them like the traditional attacks, like there's nuclear, there's aerospace, all these other type of attacks, right?
Uh huh.
But the hijacking of healthcare, which happened recently, um, it could be more what is it called? Medical. But it would be a medical attack, like cybersecurity, medical, like infrastructure needs to be put in place. Maybe you are frozen or about to plug back in. Where you at?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Yeah.
Let me
Did
see
you hear what I
something.
said?
Yeah, I heard you the whole time.
Yeah.
The phrase that you're talking about, I'm used to hearing it called a critical infrastructure because your
Okay.
medical services are typically included in critical infrastructure. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like if I'm going after somebody, an adversary, I'm taking out their electrical grid, I'm gonna do something to their water supply, and I'm gonna do something to their medical systems, right?
Right.
Because then when you cause that type of disarray, my adversary really can't concentrate. I got them distracted. It's just
Exactly.
that's part of
People
the game. I mean,
scrambling.
they talk about it in Black Panther, right?
Right. Yeah, you scrambling. You're not, you know what I'm saying? All these things are going on and you don't have like a it's like a bunch of fires and you only got one water hose.
There you go. There you go. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Real good way of putting it.
I'm just thinking like, with the way technology is and the way that these hacks are happening, like it's scary. Cause imagine somebody calling you, it's like, "Hey, Corey," and you're like, "Wait, what? I'm Corey." Somebody calling you with your own voice and just like, "Hey, if you want your voice back, you need to pay that. You need to pay me $100,000."
Damn, I didn't even think about nothing like that. Then that see, like now this ties so many things in that we talk about, right? Voice cloning inside there. Damn, and now that's crazy. Someone's holding your voice as
Hot
ransom.
as
Hey, if
rent.
you don't want me making a threat on the president in your voice, you better chip me off. Ooh, damn.
Right.
And then
So
now you're put in a position to be like, no, that wasn't me.
that wasn't me, but this is your voice. You feel what I'm saying?
Ooh,
These are things that I often think about, and like me, I am in the process of taking it to because I'm a screenwriter. I'm a screenwriter, songwriter, all that stuff. But I also learned that you educate and also come up with solutions through media. Let's be honest. We seen AI happen in iRobot,
yes.
right?
And we got cars that drives themselves now. So
Yes. Ego, the movie
you're
Eagle
not
Eye,
too far fetched.
exactly. Because of the fact that I do believe media is a force of I call it edutainment, education and entertainment.
Yeah.
But these ideas come from somewhere, and I figured now it's time for us to be able to present a problem and solve a solution. I mean, present a solution in the same way, like how viruses are made, right? People
Yeah.
create a virus, be able, and then also have the antivirus created at the same time, so you can be able to use the virus, probably the kill off something that's sick inside of a body. But once the virus does what it's supposed to do, the antivirus is supposed to make sure that the virus doesn't spread, if that makes sense,
No, it makes perfect sense.
right? I think like that, and I truly believe coming in the next coming months or even years, we're going to start seeing things with our eyes that was for meant for entertainment going to now start being incorporated.
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
do you remember Total Recall?
Yep.
Now everybody trying to go to Mars.
Yeah.
You see
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
with our artistic backgrounds, man, art is just a reflection of life, man.
It is. It
So
is.
it's just you got some of people like Elon Musk that are trying to bring it to life.
Right.
Um,
Because they
yeah,
have the
definitely.
financial backing to do it, and they also have the access into resources of why things can and cannot be done.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And AI is gonna be part of that. And then also too, like fast
Yeah.
forward, I don't know if it's gonna happen in our lifetime, but that's gonna be the another. I was talking about war earlier, right?
Right.
War typically comes down to a battle for resources, right? That's what it always is. You got what
Right.
I want it, I'm taking it. Right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's gonna happen even with Mars, man. Whoever makes it there first, the other country is gonna be hating. Hey man, you can't have that Mars. I want that Mars. And then now I'm coming after you. Hence,
Right.
we got the Space Force now.
Yeah.
It
And
was already projected.
yeah. And we saw that. What movie was that we saw that before it came to life? I think I saw that in what I want to
Well,
say
Netflix
Transformers.
actually had a show called Space Force.
Okay. So I mean, and that's the thing. It's like
That was funny as hell, by the way.
I just before we wrap this up, I just want to make sure that our channel, our show, is not just to be talking about cybersecurity because because Geronimo's a professional and I'm a good researcher. We're trying to educate the people who follow on our page so they can be able to learn something that they can be a part of in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely,
You
definitely. And
know
it's
what I'm saying?
from my perspective is looking at your everyday life stuff, right? Like we were talking about, how hospitals they've been targets recently, right?
Right.
You might have family, that's in a hospital, and these are things that you want to be like you got to be aware of it, man, so you
Yeah.
can ask the right questions, right? That's really what I hope to empower people so they can ask the right questions because a lot of times these are things that we take for granted, and someone might suffer just because you
Yeah.
didn't know. You know what I mean? And also too, just through my journey, I've learned that a lot of our kids, minority kids, just don't understand the vast opportunities that are out there career wise in tech, man. So I'm always
Yeah.
trying to. I remember back in the day, man, Ice Cube would say, "Hey, parents, don't let your kids be rappers." I would say, "Hey, don't let your kids be rappers, encourage them to go learn some type of tech skills, right?
Right.
Because you got people working in tech making 300,000, 900,000 a year, right? Which is way
Right.
better money than trying to come up as a struggling artist, in my opinion.
Yeah. I see. There's the thing is, our and I say cultures. I mean the black and brown culture. We tend to expand our fun, and when I say that, it's like I got a dream to be this, and I got a dream to be that. And when you get to the point in life where you realize life is real, sometimes you got to go ahead and stop the fun or delay it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
no, one
and
hundred
you
percent, one
you
hundred
know what I'm
percent.
saying?
And
You made a
even
good point
sometimes you got
about
to be able to close a dream and dream a new dream.
yeah,
Like I
of
said
course.
before, like if following your passion, if that passion don't pay.
if it don't pay.
If
Right.
that passion don't pay, like we said before, find a passion in what you're already doing that does pay. Get the
Right.
money, man.
And then
Um,
turn that passion into a hobby. So that way when you need a stress relief when you're doing your 9 to 5, 10 to whatever the case may be.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that I saw a post from Tyler Perry and it really blew my mind. He was building planes and he was talking about hobbies. Now, mind you, a billionaire building a plane and naming it a hobby, you can do that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
he also followed his dream. And the thing about it is, I do believe that you can have a level of success following your dream that could outweigh the past. I mean, outweigh what it is, but you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be able to say, you know what? I'm gonna go broke for 4 or 5 years. I'm going to
yeah,
eat mush.
yeah.
I'm gonna live in my car. If you're not willing to do that, then your dream isn't really worth the sacrifice. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Or walk away from a job that makes it comfortable. Like even though I am pursuing my dream, I'm still working, and there's things that I have to do that's not pretty. And I walked away from a 100K job, but I know that there's a purpose for me in that. If I'd have stayed there, I probably wouldn't even be alive to this day because of the stress
Mm.
that those type of jobs put on you.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I didn't have the knowledge to how to manage that stress. You know what I'm saying? When you manage stress, you live life differently. You can say, okay, I have enough time to deal with this over here. But when you have a job like that, when you're always on the go, on the go, on the go, you have a monthly quota instead of a quarterly quota, and you always have to be in the know. And then you have Big Brother watching over you. When I say Big Brother, I'm talking about the powers that be in the corporation that you work
Yeah.
for. You literally you have no freedom. Your weekends is trying to restore for Monday.
Yep.
And at when you're in your 20s, it's cool. When you're in your early 30s, it's okay, good. But when you're in your mid 30s into your 40s, you need to realize that you should already have pivoted in a different direction of this company you work for. If not, then you're going to end up stressing yourself. You're going to end up killing yourself, and you're going to end up doing something that you regret and then eventually lose the job in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been several times where I was at the job, I was successful, but the successful came with like less sleep, bad health issues. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Lack of being present in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't deem success to me. That means that you're just a slave to the ultimate dollar. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then my passion set on the shelf. So what I say is this: technology has made it for us to be able to do a whole lot of things, but we still need to use that brain and we still need to use our good sense and our goodwill to realize, like, look, what do you deem success? Is it money or is it something more? Because I could be, you know what I'm saying, if I'm making 50,000 a year, 40,000 a year, 35,000 a year, but the fridge is full, the bills are paid, and the kids are happy, and the wife is being loved, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, man, I think that's really where it starts at, man. It's actually I can't think of the author's name, man. There's a book called "I'll Teach You to Be Rich," or "I Teach You
Okay.
How to Be Rich." And he talks about the first step is identifying what rich means to you, because that's different for everyone. Like some
Right.
people's version of rich is, hey, I got to be able to make it rain at the strip club. You know what I mean? Come through. Let me get
Right.
that VIP real quick. Hey, that's good for some people, right?
Yeah.
Some people, rich to them is being able to have a lot of quality time with their family. Um, some people's version of rich is being able to drive the fanciest car. Like everyone has to determine that, right? What's your definition of rich, and how do you get there, right?
Yeah,
Because you also have to ask the question. It's not about what you're willing to do; it's what you're willing to sacrifice, right? Because to
exactly.
your what I picked up from everything you just said is it's the sacrifices you were willing to make or not willing to make, right? And that's really what it comes down to. And that's
Yeah,
been kind of a journey I've been on recently in my life is understanding better what's rich to me, to where I'm even on a journey to start kind of downscaling in some areas of my life so I can have more freedom in other areas, right? So,
right.
and again, like you said, tech is what's allowing me to do that.
There it is.
I'm actually able to leverage tech, to do certain things and automate certain things in my life. For example, my budget and the way I pay my bills is all automated, right?
Right,
Um, just simple things in life, right? So I think that's really what it comes down to, man. And to wrap things up, anyone watching this, because I know we get peoples of all walks of life, right?
right,
Um, the main thing is understand how to use tech in your day-to-day life, right?
right.
Maybe you're someone who wants to have a fruitful career that will give you flexibility. Because if you can work in tech, um, you might be able to work remote, right? If
Right.
working remote and having more time at home and not having to deal with traffic is important to you, hey, you can do that through tech.
Yeah,
You
you
know what I
can.
mean? Because the time you save from not commuting to a job could be an extra hour or 2 hours you could spend with your family, or extra
Exactly.
hour or 2 hours you could spend at the strip club. You know what I mean? Like whatever's important to you. So
Yeah,
that's just an example. So whatever your definition of rich is, that's what I like to try to uh encourage people to think about when they watch our discussions, right?
right.
Because like I said, I'm on that path myself, trying to figure
Yeah,
out, okay, do I really need, what I have? What can I get rid of? What can I keep? How can I budget
right.
my money better? So yeah, just those type of conversations, man. Hopefully we're encouraging that type of thought process, man.
Yeah. Assets and liabilities.
Assets and liabilities, which is different. Well, I mean, the actual definition, right? Robert Kiyosaki type stuff is an asset puts money in your pocket.
Hmm.
Liabilities take money from your pocket. But I
Right.
think you got to have a good mixture of both
Yeah.
to enjoy life, right? Because it can't be all just work. You got to
Nah,
be able to
can't be.
enjoy it. So you just got to,
Yeah,
what is that enjoyment to you? What does that mean to you, right?
exactly.
And how can you use tech to get that? That's what
There you go.
I'm leaving it at that. What is
Yeah.
your definition of enjoyment, and how
And
can you
how can
use
you
tech
use
to get
tech to get that? I love it. I love it. All right, man. So go ahead, close us out, G Mo, aka
Hey
Tech
man,
Von
closing it
Go.
out, man. Geronimo also go by the name of Tech Von Go. If you're on my YouTube, if you found it by accident, go ahead, click that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. We keep these conversations going, and I also make content to help people get started in tech and cybersecurity. For those who need those tips and tricks, plug yourself, sir.
All right, this your boy Corey Giovanni at Core ENT. Check us out. You can go to the website https://, which means hurry to the point, at coreentllc.biz. That's BIZ, not D, not dog. B as in $1 billion, because I plan to be one. And
Hey,
anything you need from the tech to the talks, we got you. Peace.
got you. Y'all be safe. Love you, bro.
Love you too, bro. Peace. Supposed to